towering peaks of the Woolajezi Mountain in Lofa County, to the golden plains of Bomi River Basin, through the verdant greens of the Sapo National Park, a place where monkeys whisper secrets, and pygmy hippos tread unseen, from the valleys, to the roaring coasts of Monrovia, Buchanan, Harper, and Robertsport. These are the voices that travel unfiltered, uncaged, and unstoppable. Welcome to the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, the platform where we speak the languages of the land, celebrate the cultures of our people, beat the drums of our tribes, and dance to the rhythms of our identity. This platform is more than just a broadcast. It's a movement, a megaphone for the people. No scripts, no sugarcoating, no stage management, just the truth, pure, bold, and proudly Liberian. Tune in, turn up the volume, and join your host, George Senator Sibo, the Pan-Africanist, shaking the mic, breaking the silence, and speaking for the nation and its people. The Liberian Voices Unfiltered. All hail, Liberia hail. It is raw, it is real, it is authentic. From the bushes to the beaches, this is our voices, our truth, and our story. It must be heard.
Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mess, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian voices, unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mess, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian voices, unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mess, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian voices, unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing
your host, George Senator Sibo, the man behind the microphone, the engineer behind the Liberian Voices Unfiltered. We want to say a pleasant welcome to our show, the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, where we're going to be digging deep into national issues, into policies issue, unfiltered. We're going to make sure we present it raw. It's going to be real. It's going to be authentic. Just the way we got the information, we're going to provide that way. Today's topic is going to be a very, very, very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about the Liberia's Maritime Program. Liberia Maritime Program, which is one of the biggest blessings that God has given us. God has blessed that nation with a program that's supposed to take us from poverty. God has blessed that nation with a program where every Liberian is supposed to feel the impact of that program. Well, we got more than 5,650 ships flying our flag on the international waters. We got the Liberian Registry have currently registered. They have under their belt 286 million gross tonnage that is registered on that fleet. That's the biggest registry in the world in terms of tonnage. So we're going to be digging deep into it. We're going to be telling you about people that manage our program. Are they doing well for the nation? We're going to be getting into figures. We're going to be showing you data, raw data. We're going to be giving you information on how much money LISCA generates every year. We're going to be telling you how much money. And we're going to also be telling you how many offices around the world these guys have. And then we're also going to be letting you know how many Liberians actually work with the program. We're going to be giving you deep information, some of the information you cannot find it on the internet. Please share this, share it live. Share this live, like our page, comment, and subscribe. This page came to stay. I told everyone, and I tell people every day, I have made it my duty as a young Liberian, a professional Liberian, to be able to provide Liberians with credible and accurate information in so many areas, in so many aspects of our daily living and our well-being. So I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging everyone. Share this live. Comment. We're going to be reading your comment. We're going to be pinning it on the screen. Some of you that will provide comments, we're going to be pinning on the screen. And then, like I said, we're going to be talking much about a lot of good things tonight. So please, I beg you, join our live. Follow us. Listen to what we're talking about and encourage Liberians. Share it. Share the page on your screen. Share it with anyone, any Liberian that are interested, any Liberian that wants to know what happened going on with our program, any Liberian that wants to know the Liberian Maritime Program. Why is it that everything about the program is secret? Everything about the Liberian Maritime Program is secret. Nobody can provide you data. Nobody can give you anything. But tonight, I'm going to be spilling the beans. I'm going to be letting the Liberian people know how much money in terms of revenue that Liberian Maritime Program have been generating from the inception. How much money up to today, 2025, that now that we are the largest registry in the world in terms of tonnage, we're going to be talking about that. So join our show. Encourage people to follow. Share the show live. Share it on any group chat you are in, any social media group chat you are in. Share this program. Share the show. Tonight we're going to be talking a lot about it. So once more, I'm going to play our intro video, and then when we come back from that video, we're going to be jumping straight into business. Be getting straight into business. So please stay tuned as we all unfold our Liberian Maritime Program, what has been going on. Stay tuned.
From the towering peaks of the Woolajezi Mountain in Lofa County to the golden plains of Bomi River Basin, through the verdant greens of the Sapo National Park, a place where monkeys whisper secrets and pygmy hippos tread unseen, from the valleys to the roaring coasts of Monrovia, Buchanan, Harper, and Robertsport. These are the voices that travel unfiltered, uncaged, and unstoppable. Welcome to the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, the platform where we speak the languages of the land, celebrate the cultures of our people, beat the drums of our tribes, and dance to the rhythms of our identity. This platform is more than just a broadcast. It's a movement, a megaphone for the people. No scripts, no sugarcoating, no stage management, just the truth, pure, bold, and proudly Liberian. Tune in, turn up the volume, and join your host, George Senator Sibo, the Pan-Africanist, shaking the mic, breaking the silence, and speaking for the nation and its people. The Liberian Voices Unfiltered. All hail, Liberia hail. It is raw, it is real, it is authentic. From the bushes to the beaches, this is our voices, our truth, and our story. It must be heard.
Tune into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia. What truth meets the people, and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Oh, it's speaking truth tonight. Let your voices rise. From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown. Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say, unfiltered voices, paving the way. Liberian Voices, unfiltered. Yeah, we tell it how it is, no filter. Liberian Voices, unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Mountain.
nation we go discuss. From clinics to classrooms, who can we trust? Social justice, human rights, we shine in truth like city lights. Public policy, rule of law, building Liberia strong and raw. Trade and commerce, business flow, empower the people, help us grow.
Who we talking about? Who we talking for? Who we talking for? Who we talking for? Who we talking about? Who we talking for? Who we talking for? Who we talking for?
Unfiltered minds, unfiltered dreams, telling our stories by any means. Culture and faith, we rise above. United in truth, united in things.
Our voices echo across the sea. Liberia strong, bold and free.
Yeah, no voices,
Hey, Liberian voices, unfiltered.
yeah, we tell it how it is, no filter.
Liberian voices, unfiltered.
The people's might, the nation's mirror. From Painesville to Kakata, Harper to Ponga, we talk it real, we talk it stronger.
Liberian voices, unfiltered.
Your story, your power, your sound. Politics, peace talks, power and pain. Who gains, who loses, we call the names. Youth rising, leaders in motion. We stir in truth like a wave in the ocean. And diaspora dreams to the homeland cries. We lift the truth, no compromise. International ties, we bridging the gap. Liberian voices, got your back. Say say Liberian voices. Truth and power side by side. We talk, we build, we unify. Say unfiltered. Say Liberian voices. Truth and power side by side. We talk, we build, we unify.
Liberian voices, unfiltered.
Yeah, we tell it how it is, no filter.
Liberian voices.
Okay, fellow Liberians, let us get into business. Let us get straight into business. Let us start this show. The maritime, the general maritime program is something that is not well known to a lot of Liberians. Some Liberians don't even know. Some taxpayers don't even know what a maritime program is. They don't know what is called maritime. Talk less about maritime program. They don't know how Liberia generate revenue from that program. So tonight, we're going to be providing some insight on how it works, how things got started, everything. So traditionally, when the shipping industry started way back from ancient Greek or Asian, way back in those days, that was early before the 1920s, way back. Ship registration process was basically like today car registration, the way people do car registration. So when you buy your car, you are in Liberia, you buy your car, you register your car in Liberia because you're gonna be using that car within Liberia. Even when you buy the car from America, they ship it to you in Liberia, you have to use you have to register in Liberia and pay the taxes in Liberia, and then you have the plate. Your plate is going to be tagged a Liberian plate, or if you like, how you might call it. So that was the traditional method of the shipping industry. It's called the traditional registry. So, and there were big countries that were involved with shipping, and they are still today involved with shipping, like the Greek. The Greek have the largest amount of ship in the world that is flying around. So you have other countries like America, Japan, China, great countries with a lot of huge vessels registered under them. So things were going on like that. Things started happening. So fast forward, fellow Liberians at home and abroad, like I said, welcome to the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, where we speak the truth the way it is, with no sugar coating and no censorship. Tonight, we will go deep into one of Liberia's most powerful, yet least understood national assets, the Liberia Maritime Program. A program that was born in 1948. In 1948, this program shaped by global power and today ranked among the largest ship registry on planet Earth. But the real question is very simple. Who is really benefiting from this program? Is it the Liberian people or the people who run the program for the Liberian that are the ones benefiting? We're going to be digging deep into that. We're going to be following on that. We're going to know if Liberia is actually benefiting from the program, or is it the people that run our program, the people called LISCA, if they are the one actually benefiting from our program. So for decades, our Nation Maritime Program has been administered by private foreign firms. First, when it all started, it was managed by ITC, the International Trust Company. ITC. If you guys can remember way back in those days, they had a bank called ITC Bank. So that establishment of that bank was something from the Maritime Program, which are also part of something we call the corporate social responsibility that they were exercising. So when ITC working with Liberia running the program, the relationship with Liberia collapsed. And the relationship became sour and it collapsed on a dispute with ended with lawsuit and claims of mismanagement and conflict of interest. So Liberia and Liberia and ITC fell up because of mismanagement, conflict of interest, and lack of trust. Then came Liberia International Ship and Corporate Registry, which we call today LISCA. LISCA is an acronym meaning Liberia International Ship and Corporate Registry. It's a US-based operator that now control both Liberia Ship Registry and the Corporate Registry. So remember, we do two. We do Ship Registry and we do Corporate Registry. A lot of people don't know. LISCA does not only run a shipping program for us. They also run the Corporate Registry. There are a lot of companies around the world that are operating under Liberia censorship, under Liberia guidance. They are registered as Liberian company, working in Germany, working in Europe, working in America, but they are owned by Liberia. So big corporations use a country name for protection. So LISCA run that program for us. And all those companies are contributing. They are paying money to Liberia on an annual basis. And all those monies goes to LISCA. It goes to LISCA. So tonight, like I said, we'll be looking on if this money are coming back to Liberia or LISCA is controlling the money. So they control both Liberia Registry and the Corporate Registry on behalf of Liberia. So, and that fall under the LISCA program that has grown massively, but millions of dollars. The millions of dollar question is, has the benefit to Liberian grown with this? In as much as our program have grown so big, so large, we got 5,650 vessels flying our flag today. Have that program massively grown to that extent? And then under the Liberian Registry, and the shipping registry, we also do something called Liberia Seafarer Registration, the seafarer documentation. We will get into that. I will tell you more about that. So this is exactly what we are going to be discussing tonight. We will also be talking about the revenue. Like I said, the revenue. How much money does Liberia actually make from the registry that serve hundreds of thousands of seafarers and tens of thousands of corporate entities? What are the annual report of the Liberia National Maritime Program in terms of revenue and expenditure not publicly presented to the Liberian people? And is Liberia, as the owner of the Maritime Program, really receiving a fair share of their own business? We will be delving into that. We'll be digging into that. So on today's program, we will also be talking about jobs. Are Liberian seafarers being employed in their own maritime program? We'll be talking about what about oversight responsibility. We will look at oversight responsibility. Is the Liberian Maritime Authority really in charge of the program? Are they in charge of the program? Is the commissioner of the Liberian Maritime Authority and his principal deputies? I'm talking about the Deputy Commissioner for Finance, the Deputy Commissioner for Maritime Safety and Domestic Vessel Registration, the Deputy Commissioner for Operations, and the Deputy Commissioner for International Vessel Registration, are they really playing their supervisory role? And are they exercising their oversight responsibility? We'll be looking at that. We'll be telling Liberian people if the people are really doing their jobs. We'll be telling them. And we'll also be asking this hard question: did President Joseph Norman Boakai appoint the right people for the job? That is our nation cake. If you hear the budget have gone to 1.2 billion, do you know how much of that money comes from LISCA? A big component. A big component. So we'll also be mentioning the fact that as of the late 2022, there have been over 374,000 seafarers worldwide that hold Liberia seafarer document. More than, listen to the numbers I'm telling you about. 374,000 seafarers that are currently holding Liberia seafarers document worldwide. And each of them pay money for those documents. Listen to the number. 374,000 seafarers hold Liberia seafarer document. And then we will be asking this question: of the 374,000 seafarers, how many Liberians themselves benefit from that system of the seafarer? How many? How many Liberians are working on the ships? And we'll also delve deep into the corporate registry, like I said, the Liberian Maritime Authority leadership, LISCA leadership, and the real structure and power that is controlling things behind the scene. We'll be talking about that. So prepare yourself. This is not a conversation for the faint-hearted. This is for people who want the facts, people who need accountability from their government, and people who demand clarity in a program that brings Liberia global recognition, but not always transparent to the in terms of reward. Stay tuned, call in, send in your comment, follow our page, like and subscribe on our Facebook page, Liberia Voices Unfiltered. That is the Facebook page. And our YouTube page also called the same thing, Liberia Voices Unfiltered. And our Instagram page, Liberia Voices Unfiltered. Subscribe, like, share, send your comment. I will be pinning your comment on the screen. We'll be looking at some of those comments. So please share this show. Invite people on every social media platform that you are on today. Share the show. Because tonight, we will be on filtering the truth about Liberia Maritime Program. It will be raw. It will be real. And it will be authentic. So, in order to proceed with this, I will give you a little historicity on the origin of the open registry or flag of convenience system. Like I said, how I told you about the traditional system in our previous one, but then how open registry started, how Liberia of a population below 6 million are having such a huge maritime dominance in the world. What is attracting people to our program? So I'm going to give you a little history. So let me tell you this story. A story that begins far away from Liberia, almost hundreds of years ago. But this ends right at our doorstep as one of our biggest national treasures. So picture the world in the early 1920s. Massive ships were crossing the ocean. They were carrying oil, they were carrying timbers, iron ore, and just name it, merchant and other stuff across, passenger and so. But many ship owners in the United States and Europe were frustrated. Their home country had heavy taxes and they had strict labor laws and expensive regulation that made shipping costly and complicated for them. So, that made shipping complicated for them. So this ship owner begins looking for a way out. What can we do? This thing is burdensome. What can we do? So they've been looking for a way to be able to sail on the ocean freely, to be able to find out, to be able to sail cheaply and with fewer restrictions to them. And that was when they discovered a small country in Central America called Panama. So the whole thing started with Panama. So Panama did not have any money. They never had a ship or even a huge port. But it has something extremely valuable, the flag that anyone could use. Panama had their registry were open for anyone to use. If you pay the fees, Panama allow you to register your ship under their flag. No matter where you come from, no matter where you live. It was so simple, it was cheap, and it was convenient for ship owners. And just like that, the idea of open registry started, or what people refer to today as the flag of convenience was born. Panama started the whole thing. So to fast forward things, before we get into some real numbers and figures, now in the 1940s, that is World War II had just ended that time. Global trade was growing again. People start moving from one place to another, start transporting goods and things. The ocean was booming with activities, and a powerful shipping company was searching for a reliable, stable, trustworthy place to register their vessel. People start looking around, finding other alternatives to Panama. At the same time, Liberia was rising up to international stage under President William V. Studman. The country was doing well. Liberia became recognized. The country was booming. People were going to Liberia for vacation from every part of Africa, all part of the world. So Liberia wanted to build a modern economy. And guess who stepped in? A group of American lawyers and business strategists. They had a bold idea. They said, Mr. President, why not create a worldwide class registry based in Liberia? So the idea was to be based in Liberia. Get this as I'm speaking. Based in Liberia. Not America, not Europe, but in Liberia. But why is it having America today? So they wanted them to build a registry that can compete with Panama, but with a better service, with better reputation, and better stability. That is what they needed. Because Panama was having some issues going on here and there, so people are looking for alternative. So they decided to move to Liberia and so on. So in 1948, Liberia officially launched an open registry program. That movement changed everything for Liberia. Suddenly, ships from all over the world, the Greek tankers, the American freight, the European carriers, the Asian shipping companies began flying the Liberian flag. Everybody began to register on Liberia. Not because they were Liberian ships, but because Liberia offer low fees, they offer faster registration, they offer fewer bureaucratic delays, and it was trusted and internationally respected flag around the world. So by the 1970s, the Liberian flag was everywhere. Anywhere, in almost every 3 or 4 ships were Liberian flag. From the Indian Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico, Liberia became so powerful in the maritime world that some people joke the second largest Liberian colony is the ocean. So people were joking about it, that the second largest Liberian colony is the ocean. The people say we own the ocean because we have our presence everywhere. So today, Liberia remains one of the top 2 largest registries on earth. We competed with Panama, we beat them. And today we are competing neck to neck with Panama for the number 1 spot. Sometimes we overtake them, sometimes they come back and overtake us. Sometimes we overtake them, sometimes they come back and overtake us. Today, we overtake them. We have the largest registry in terms of tonnage. And I will tell you about tonnage, how the tonnage is very important. So millions of jobs worldwide, billions of global trade, and thousands of companies depended on the very system that Liberia helped to perfect. But there is a part that matters most to us. Liberia did not enter this industry by accident. No, it was not by accident. We entered because we understood something powerful. You don't need a very big army or skyscraper to play a major role in the world affairs. Sometimes, no, you don't need that. You need a flag, and you need trust of the world for people to fly it. That was our driving motive, and that, my people, is how Liberia became a global giant, and how the story of the open registry started. A system born from the frustration of ship owners a century ago became one of Liberia's greatest national assets. It is one of our greatest national asset. So Liberia, Panama, and Marshall Islands control almost 40% of world shipping tonnage. Some registries, especially in smaller developing nations, have been criticized for weak oversight. So people tend to follow Liberia and Marshall Islands were registered as the most reputable and compliant with international regulations and rules. And there are many small islands that run a registry as a major source of income. Besides Liberia, other people are doing it. But the major registry now we have in the world, Liberia, Marshall Islands, Panama, the Bahamas, Malta, Cyprus, Singapore. And Singapore run a hybrid registry that is not fully, but widely used. Yes. And today, other registries like Antigua and Barbados, Belize, Bermuda, Bolivia, there are so many other well-known flag of convenience around the world, but they are not as big as the Liberian registry or Panama or the Marshall Islands. Yes. So tonight we are here to break down the Liberian registry story even further, going down to understand who is actually benefiting the lion's share of the Liberian Maritime Program. Who is losing bigly and why? Is Liberia losing, or is LISCA losing? And to provide possible recommendation on how we can make sure that the industry truly work for the Liberian people. So, based off of these things I have said, I want us to take a look. And tonight I'm going to be sharing my screen because I'm going to be providing you data. I'm going to share my screen to you, and I'm going to be providing you raw data so you can see numbers, you can see figures, how they work out. You can see things. So, in today's market, Liberian register is a global employees of over 300 plus. LISCA has more than 300 employees worldwide in over 27 countries. They have offices, their presence is in more than 27 countries. And they have over 550 professional auditors and inspectors. Of all those numbers, of all those figures, how many Liberians work in there? How many Liberians work with their maritime program? They said that we don't have maritime professionals. We do. The last time I checked our database, the World Maritime University Alumni Association in Liberia, we have more than 35 to 40 maritime professionals that have master's degrees in the maritime sector from different schools, World Maritime University, Regional Maritime University, and other maritime universities around the world. But why is it all those people are sitting in Liberia and they are jobless when Liberia run a multi-million-dollar industry? When Liberia is running a program that can absorb even 40% of Liberian population into the program, and the program will not shake. Why is it? We are the number one in terms of gross tonnage. We are the number one in terms of container market. We are the number one in terms of tanker market. In terms of please, there will be time I'll open the line for call. I will soon open the line for call. Let me just give some historicity on this thing, give some information, then I will open the line. People will begin to call. And then I will have some panelists here tonight on this show. I will bring in the panelists. I'm just setting the basis. So now for one of our comments here from Honorable James Momo, he said the problem with Liberia is that the level of greed among citizens is very high. So as such, the country is dominated by envy, hate, jealousy, and corruption. Therefore, vision-driven leaders are fought and pushed back. That is a comment from Honorable James Momo. So you can send your comment. Put in your comment. I'm going to paste your comment on the stream so that we all can see it and we all can talk about it. The whole world is going to be able to see your comment and we're going to talk about it. So, like I said, in order to delve into the numbers, to delve into the figures, to see how we generate that money, I'm going to be sharing my screen. This show tonight is going to be in the form of PowerPoint presentation. Yes, PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to be sharing my screen so you can see. And every information I will provide you, every information I will have given you is on, some of them are on the LISCA website. Some of them I had to dig deep and pay search agencies to find it for me because they are hiding something. They are hard. When you see the numbers, you will be surprised. So let me share my screen so that we can jump into this. I don't want to take all of your time today, but I want us to be getting into the real issue. So we will be sharing our screen and talking basically two things. We'll be talking about how ships are registered, how much are registered on our program, how much money they pay to register, and how much money they pay to renew. You will see that data. You will see the numbers. Then the next slide, we'll be talking about seafarers, how seafarers are registered with our program, how much they pay to carry one Liberia seafarer's boat, how much they pay for that. So we'll be getting into that. So bear with me a little bit. Let me share my screen. Just stay there with me. Let me share my screen with you. As I'm doing that, I will put on the theme song playing so that I can get this set up. Don't leave. Share the live. You will see numbers. You will give up. You will wonder why Liberia is poor. You will wonder why the president, when they take over, they decide to keep certain people in Maritime. They don't touch them. You'll be surprised to know there are Liberians who are holding strategic position in Maritime that have been there for more than 27 years. Up to 30 years, they have held their position. Why? Are they the only maritime professional? Are they the only person that understands maritime? Why are we keeping them there? That people have gotten rich. The national treasure of Liberia is large, but it's on top. You should be able to distribute wealth. If you put somebody in a position for a couple of years, change them, put other people. Not only one person is supposed to be able to buy land. Not only one person is supposed to be able to pay their children's school fees. Not only one person is supposed to be able to build a house or ride a good car. Mr. President, you need to rotate your people, rotate them, move them around, bring in new people that will bring a new idea. Because if the people sit there, they get contented. And when you are contented, you tend not to explore. You can't bring in anything. You run out of ideas. And you become corrupt. The system will corrupt you. It will corrupt you. So let me play the song. As the song is playing, I will be preparing the slide. When the slide start, and then we can continue with that.
The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From volcano to Vaughn, from Loafer to Cape Mount. We talk the truth that really counts.
Meridian voices unfiltered.
Your story, your power, your sound.
Meridian voices unfiltered. Meridian voices unfiltered.
All right, so let me share my screen with you so we can get into these numbers. Just bear with me a little bit. Just a little bit, we will be there very, very soon. Bear with me a little bit. Let me get this thing started so we can be able to talk about it. Share the live, my people. Like, comment, share the live. We will post them. We'll talk about it. Share the live. So, yes, let me go back again. Share my screen. I want to share just a window. Okay. All right. So my screen is currently being shared. If you can see it, please write in the comment section that you can see my screen so that we can delve into this. We can talk about the figures. We can talk about numbers. We can talk about money. This is Liberian people money, people. Yes, Liberian people money. If you can see this, please comment. Let me know that you can see it so that we can continue. We can go on. I want to make sure that everyone is seeing this. Yes, because I don't want to be talking and then other people not following it. Then the aim will be defeated. Good. So I believe everyone can see this. So like I said, let us delve into this. So this slide, this presentation is solely based on how do vessel owner pay to the Liberian registry. So we'll be talking about two categories here. We'll talk about new registration, how new vessels come onto our program, and annual renewal. And this is based, all of the information I'm talking about, even though it's an estimate, we are estimating because the data that is provided from LISCA's website and from other websites is dated back as 2022. Most of the from 2023, 2024, 2025 that is about to end, the data are not even there. They are keeping it. You will check, you can do. But we manage to dig and get more information from places that we can give our source. Yes. So it has been a very, very intriguing thing. Last night I went to bed like 3 a.m. making the research, working on this document to make sure to provide data to Liberian people that are authentic, that are raw, and that are real. So share this live. Bring in people. Share it to all your group chats. Share it to all your social media group pages so you can be able to see exactly how we make our money and where is the money going. So for this, we'll be talking about the purpose for this. We'll be breaking down the estimated fees where vessel owner pay. So vessel in the content talk about ships. When you have vessel, it means ship. How much they pay to register and to renew their vessel with the Liberian registry. And then we'll also be telling like our source. Our source is from Liberian registry website. With the administration 003, fees and charges, the Liberian Maritime Authority. And we'll also be modeling two scenarios. And this scenario is going to be based on a small vessel scenario and a large vessel scenario. And this is due to the variation in tonnage based on fees. So the tonnage is grouped into two categories. They refer to that as small vessel, and they also refer to that as large vessel. So vessels from tonnage 1 to 14,000 tonnage is referred to as small vessel. On this, based on data, on LISCA's data, and then vessel ranging from 18,000 to 20,000 above are referred to as large vessels. Yeah, they are large. They're referred to as a large vessel. So these numbers are all there. We're going to be going into them. We're going to be playing with these numbers so you can see what we're talking about. So let us first focus on Liberia's fleet size. Fleet means the total number of ships that are registered in your program. So the total fleet size that are in Liberia that we have today, we have 5,650 ships that fly our flag worldwide. Listen to the numbers. 5,650 ships. And the source for this is from LISCA. This is their public, it's from LISCA public material. This is the material they publish. That the number they say they have there. And the scenario is going to be based on, we assume that at least 97% of those ships, of those 5,650 ships, renew their paperwork every year. Which, of course, every ship renews. A ship is like a car. Every year, you must renew something in your car. You must renew something. Sticker expires, you have to renew every year. So this data, 97% of our ships in our fleet renew their paperwork every year. And we assume that only 3% join our fleet. So you're talking about approximately we have like 170 new registration every year, which of course is an estimate, like I said, that is based on 2022 data that they presented to the Maritime Labor Convention annual report. MLC 2022 annual report. That is the information that was provided by LISCA on these things. So my people, share the live. Like I said, share this live. We are going deep into this. We are going deep into these numbers. You will see these numbers. You will see things. We'll talk about numbers. Even you'll be surprised how much millions, hundreds of millions that LISCA is making, and where is the money actually going. Yes, you'll see this number. We'll talk about them. And then my next slide here, like I said, remember this number. We're talking about 5,650 ships that register on our fleet. And 97% of those ships renew annually. They do the annual renewal. And then 3% join our fleet. We're talking about maybe 170 ships join our fleet every year. So, and we'll also be talking about the fees that are included in this estimate. How much money? The annual tonnage fees, the maritime inspection and compliance fees, the MARITIME fees. I will tell you what MARITIME stands for. The certificate issuance fees and the basic administrative fees. There are so many fees that are paid by a vessel. A ship owner pays so many fees before you get registered on a flag. And again, the source of this information is from Liberia Marine Notice Admin 3 Revision 1. That is from January 1, 2025. So this data we are providing you on the fees is for 2025. This is 2025 marine notice to all of our sailors. So that information is current and it is reliable. The sources are there. You can go online and check it. You will find the information there. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about new vessel registration, and we're going to also be talking about a renewal. So for new vessel registration, there are some fees that are paid. There are some fees that are paid annually. So those fees that are paid, you got statutory initial registration fees. You got registration administrative fees. Those are additional fees that you pay as a new vessel. You got publication and certificate fees, and you got special services fees. All those fees, you will pay them as a new vessel before you come in. I'm going to give you the numbers. It's not just so. I'm going to give you the numbers. So the next slide here, we are talking about the estimated annual renewal cost. To renew, now we're focusing on renew, not to bring in new vessel now. And remember, we are talking about 75% of our vessels renew every year. So based on this, like I said earlier, we will be focusing on two set of tonnages, 14,000 and below net registered tonnage is referred to as small vessel, and the fees are there. And then from 18,000 above, it referred to as big vessels, and the fees are there. And I will break those fees down so you can see them. My people, a lot of Liberians should be looking at this information. I don't understand why we're not sharing this live. A lot of Liberians need to see this. A lot of Liberians need to see this. Share the live, please. Share this live. A lot of Liberians need to see this information. If you are keeping the information, you are not doing justice to other Liberians. Share the information. So, if you have a vessel of 14,000 net registered tonnage and below, the rate of 42 cents, you pay 42 cents per tonnage. So every tonnage you pay is 42 cents per tonnage. So in order to get the tonnage fee, the total tonnage fee per vessel, you multiply 42 cents by the net registered tonnage, which is 14,000 net registered tonnage. It gives you $5,880. Every number we are talking about here is US dollars. US dollars. So if you have a vessel of 14,000 tonnage and below, you pay $5,880 plus or minus. That is just for your tonnage. Then you also pay the registration renewal fee. Remember, we're talking about vessels that are renewing. Registration renewal fee of $4,327. Then you also pay, because anyone that coming to renew, you got to check and see, they will inspect your vessel, make sure that you stay following the rules, they get everything correct in place. You pay the marine inspection fee of $2,000. You will pay statutory fee of $2,500. You pay publication fee, because when they renew, they got to publish it. That, oh yeah, the vessel got new. So you check it online, you can see it. You pay $100 for that. Certificates. Your total certificate you pay, you pay $300. And then the certificate reissuance, that some of them aspire, you need the reissuance fee is $300. Like I said, ship it looking at car. Small money you'll be paying all day. And then you got a service fee. All the small fee they put together, they gave it to you, pay $175 for service fee. And then the MRP as I'm talking about is called the metric-based incentive payment system. So it's a system that was developed that do all of the metric calculation and the metric tabulation. But you got to pay the fees to keep that system going. So every vessel that using that system has to pay the fee. So they pay the fee of $1,571. So in short, one renewal of a vessel of 14,000 net registered tonnage vessel pay approximately $17,152 just to renew a vessel. Keep that number in mind, $17,152 plus or minus to renew that vessel. So now we come back up to vessel of 20,000 net registered tonnage and above. So the bigger your vessel, the smaller your fees for your net registered tonnage. So you're paying approximately, let's say 0.1, let's say 0.11, let's say you pay like 1 cent or 1 cent and a half per tonnage for a 20,000 net registered tonnage vessel and above. That's why you pay per tonnage. So let's assume that a vessel that is registering is 20,000, has 20,000 net registered ton. So when you multiply this 0.113 by 20,000 metric ton, it means the vessel is paying $2,260 for just tonnage fee. And then they come back to something called the pre-vessel fee. They pay $11,175. There is statutory fee. They pay $2,500. Publication fees, they pay $100. Certificate fees, they pay $300. The same thing like that other vessel pay, they pay similar amount. Then they come back to the actual registration fee of $6,593. $6,593. Marine inspection fee, $2,900. Because the ships are big. So those inspection takes time. And then the same the MRIPS fees, that is the metric-based incentive payment system fees, you pay $2,837.84. Then the certificate reissuance fees, because remember you are renewing, is $300. So vessel of 20,000 tons and above pay up to $29,441 to renew registration. That is the kind of money they pay. So now, let us break down the figures. Let us combine these figures and give you a clear description of how much money they make from vessel registration. And this data, like I said, is based on 2022 report. It's not 2025. 2022 report is based on 2022 report. So 2023, not there. 2024, not there. 2025, not there. It's 2022. Because 2025 report, 2023, 2024, they had those reports. You can't even find it. And I want to believe that those reports are not really made available to the public because they were talking about renewing their contract with Liberia. And I know for sure they thought, you know what the women would think, the black men would think like that. They thought that Liberia would dig deep to follow all those things or conduct a forensic audit before signing the document. But unfortunately, we did not. Once you give our legislators small fees, signature fees, they are running to sign it like yesterday for you. So they don't conduct audit, they don't do nothing. They don't even know what is going on with the program. So this is the combined total revenue for vessels. So in our estimate, based on data on LISCA's data, we got 5,650 vessels currently flying our flag. So we have the renewal revenue for 14,000 net registered tonnage vessels and below, which constitute 97% of our total fleet. So so it's 97% of 5,650 is 5,480. So you got 5,480 ships that renew registration every year. So if you multiply 5,480, if you multiply 5,480 ships by the total metric ton, by the total fees they pay, remember I told you the fees for this. So they pay, if you multiply this by $20,228 for the total fees that they pay, you're talking about $71,119,169 that you get from vessels of 14,000 and below. So as we took the list, we just took the list. We're talking about $71,119,164. So when you come to renewal for vessel of 20,000 and above, remember we said we took the list of 170 ships, which is 3%. That's why we took 3%. So you're talking about 29,441 multiplied by 170 ships. It gives you 26,305,315. That is what they get. So when you combine the renewal fee, you combine the renewal fee for the vessel, the renewal for new vessel, when you combine those fees, the renewal revenue for the vessel 71 million, and then the new vessel registration of 20,000 gross tonnage, you're talking about 26 million. If you add those two numbers together, you're talking about 97,424,448. So based on the calculation, that is just what they get from renewal of 14,000 net registered tonnage vessel, and that of 20,000 net registered vessel of 3% of our total fleet to just join the fleet. We're talking about 97,424,448. We're talking about almost 100 million just from vessel registration. Just from vessel registration. And like I will publish, so these are our sources where we got this information from. It's come from LISCA themselves. Yes, LISCA themselves publish this information to us. They themselves publish it. Yes. And then I will stop sharing. I will talk about this a little bit before I get into the next slide. So you look at the numbers. That is what they get from, that was 2022, just from ship registration. Almost 100 million, just from ship registration. So now, I'm going to share my screen again and get into seafarers' documentation process. Stay tuned. From there, we'll come back and tell you what has been going on behind the scene. Share this live. Invite people to follow. These information are very, very important to decision makers, our senators, our lawmakers that are rectifying these agreements without even following details, without even hiring the requisite qualified people to look into this material. They need to see these things. They need to share this live. Comment, post this live in all of your group chat, everywhere. Post it there. I need more Liberians to follow this space so that you can get reliable and authentic information. So again, I'm going to share the screen right now so we can delve into the seafarer aspect. Registration, seafarer aspect. Okay, good. So if you can see this page, please again, give your comment down there and see, so that we can make sure that you are actually seeing what we are posting up. So you can see what we are posting up here. We want this section to be very, very interactive. Yes. We want this section to be interactive. Please share it so that we can delve into it. So now our second slide is on understanding the cost of becoming a fully certified seafarer under the Liberian registry. How much you pay to become a fully registered seafarer under the Liberian registry. And then for our introduction, we will tell you how much does it cost to become a fully documented seafarer under the Liberian registry. We'll also give you the breakdown, including training, medical, Liberian documentation, and renewal fees. All of these numbers are going to show you. And it's going to really trigger you. It's going to trigger you. It is astronomical, I promise you. So, in order to work under the Liberian flag, like any other flag, there are mandatory basic training. Like any institution you want to work with, there are trainings that you must undergo. And Liberia Maritime Program is conducting this training. So you can pay the money to them and they will conduct the training for you. They are doing that. So we got under this model, we have the mandatory basic training. That is, it falls under STCW, the Standard Training and Certification and Watchkeeping for STCW. So they pay the basic safety training fee between $350 to $550. The reason why we put between is because it's different in terms of there are regular seafarers and there are officers. So the training is a little bit different. So somebody pay more, the other person pay less. And like in the military, we have the enlisted men and we have officers. So the gap is different. But what we did was that we took, at the end of the day, we also balanced the total between the least and the small. So when you pay all of these fees, the total that you will pay just for mandatory basic training is, for seafarer, it ranges between $830 to $125. That is just for basic training. The next one, medical certification course. Remember that you pay these things to Liberia and then they'll tell you where to go and do it. So they work in line with all those agencies, all the medical area and thing. They give a percentage and keep some of it to themselves. So you talk about medical examination. So medical examination run, you pay between $100 to $200 depending on where you're doing it and how you're doing it. Drug and alcohol, you will pay between $50 to $100 to same thing based on what you're doing it. And then vaccination, you got to make all your vaccination got to be right. COVID, polio, all those things you got to have it. So it ranges between $50 to $150. So you're talking about paying in total $200 to $450 just for medical certification. So when you add the one on the first number I show you, it is increasing, and you will get the breakdown very soon. Then Liberia Flare State document. There are some documents that you have to pay for that is registered on before you get registered on the Flare State. We'll get SRD document, Seafarer identity document, like your ID card. You have to pay for that. It's between $175 to $200. You got to pay for CDC paper. That's something called CDC paperwork. You got to pay between $125 to $150. And you got to pay endorsement fee for you to endorse your paperwork. You pay between $175 to $250. And then the RPN fee and the RFP fees, you'll see some of these names, some of the abbreviations, you see them. So in total, for Liberia Flare State documentation, general total, you pay, Seafarer is paying between $425 to $800. Like I said, based on your position on the ship and based on your level that you have reached on the ship, right? So now let us come down to the optional but common requirement. Some of these documents, they are optional. They are optional, but a lot of people like to have them, like passport. People want to have them, like a visa. Yes, people have them. Like police clearance, you need police clearance. You got to pay for that. So the total of this amount run from between $235 to $360. Yes, $235 to $260. That's what they pay. So the total estimate for new seafarer, let's assume a new seafarer is coming in on a Liberian program. So when they either from the low level or from the high level. So if you fall from the low level, a seafarer will be paying $1,690. So it range between $1,690 to $2,860. That is what a new seafarer will be paying. So if we take the average of that, you're talking about approximately 2,000 something that a seafarer will pay across the board in order to get a new seafarer, in order to obtain Liberia seafarer lesson documentation for the first time. Then we come down to renew expired document. People that are already seafarer, but they want to renew the document. The document expires. Some of the document run up to 5 years based on what the regulation says. So they got to renew. You got to renew it when it expires. Like a driver license expires, you got to renew it. So seafarer identity document, like the renewal, you pay $175 to $200. And remember, like I said, 97% of our vessel, our people are renewing. They are renewing because as the person who is expiring, the other person acquiring a new one, the other person is like that. So it's continuous process. They make money on a daily basis because I obtain my documentation today, and then John Brown on the document expired today. So John Brown is paying today. So it's a complete money making thing. So continual discharge certificate renewal, you pay between $125 to $150. Endorsement renewal, $175 to $250. Rating certificates, ratings are the people that are not officers on board the ship. So they pay between $100 to $150. So when you look at renewal of expired Liberian seafarer document, you're talking between just for this one, you pay between $575 to $750. That's why a seafarer pay in between there, right? And then that for the document, the Liberian seafarer document, renewal of medical training, medicals and training. You need to, when your medical is expired, you got to renew it too. So you're talking about for the medical renewal, you're talking about between $100 to $200 for medical exams, drug tests, $50 to $100. Your STCW refresher courses between $250 to $350, because some courses when you expire, you got to do refresher before they can allow you to renew it based on the regulation. And there's something called proficiency in survival craft refresher. That's another training that you got to do. So you pay in between $150 to $250. And then you can do security refresher. Now there are piracy, there are sea robbery. So there's security refresher thing have come. People got to do security training too. So there's a course for that seafarers can participate, but you have to pay between $100 to $150. There is nothing free in the maritime sector. Nothing free. Everything is paid for. Everything is being paid for within the maritime sector. So you can't say, oh, Liberian registration, some of the things they're doing it free for the people that are. Everything here is being paid for. Everything is collectively paid for. Collectively paid for. Share the live. I mean, invite people. Comment, share. We need it. We need this information so that we can know what is going on. Comment. We won't be able to read your comment. We won't be able to talk about your comment. What are you saying about this? We will pin your comment on the stream. We will be discussing it and knowing exactly how things are going on. So for medical renewal, like I said, you'll be paying between $650 to $1,050. If you take the average, then you will know what we're talking about. So the total revenue, the total renewal cost from all those things that I mentioned, the total renewal cost for seafarer that are already that are already carrying our flag, our seafarer document, but the document has expired. They want to renew it. So if they're working for the low end, you'll be paying between $1,225 to $1,800. So that's the range you pay. From the least you pay is $1,225. And then the highest you pay is $1,800. As of 2020, this document is for 2025. These are new publications that they just published January 1st, 2025. So this information is reliable. Go to their website, you will see it. You will see it. This information are clearly there, and you're going to see it. So based off of this, like the key takeaway, you see them, and then let me go just right back to show you let me show you the summary of all of these. I will show you the summary in just a minute. You will see how these numbers have been playing out. You will see that, how all these numbers have been playing out very soon. Just bear with me as I share the screen once more. So let me share the screen once more, and we can talk about this last slide. We're not going to delve into the corporate one because this is sufficient evidence already. So the summary for seafarer, Liberian seafarer, the document total. So like I said, look at this breakdown. We have from the data that was provided by that LISCA provided to the Maritime Labor Convention 2022. These are the information that they provided. They provided this information to the Maritime Labor Convention annual report, because every year those reports are being published. So when those reports are published, if people can see them, you can have those information. So look at this data here. We got 374,591 seafarers that carry our seafarer document. Our seafarer document. And those include both officers and regular seafarers. Officers like the captain, the assistant captain, the chief engineer, all the people they are referred to as officers. And then we from our calculation, we took into consideration 90% of our fleet will be renewing their paperwork. You getting me? So when you look at it, maybe not every year, but every 5 years, 90% will renew. And then 10% will be joining. 10% will be joining. So if you take 90% of 374,591, 90% of that is 337,131. So you have 337,131 seafarers renewing a document between 1 to 5 years. And then you also have 10%, which is 37,460 seafarers that are joining the fleet every year. Keep those numbers in mind. We will break it down. So like I said here, you see the fees, all those fees that we just talked about, we mentioned it. So the total cost for a new Liberian seafarer document, a new Liberian, a new somebody that want to join, a new seafarer that want to join our fleet, for your seafarer document in total, you'll be paying $2,275 based on 2025 data that was published. So you pay at least $2,275 to get a new seafarer, to get your paperwork, everything squared up and ready to get on board the ship. And then for renewal for seafarer document, like those that are already there want to renew, and plus other small fees you pay, you'll be talking about $6,062. Like $6,662. Sorry, $662. That's what you'll be talking. That is at least between $600 to $1,500. That's what you'll be paying to renew. Then when you come down to renewals, like the seafarer certificate and other stuff, you're talking roughly about you'll be talking about $625 too. That's why you're going to pay for renewal. So when you look at the cost summary per category, so we're talking about people that want to renew, it ranges between $1,225 to $1,800, which of course we took the average, and the average will be $1,512. So you have people pay $1,512 on the average to renew the document. And then new applicant on the average, you will find people paying $2,275 on the average to renew the document. Keep those numbers in mind. So if you look at the total revenue from selling our new seafarer document and renewing our new seafarer document, the total revenue that is generated, you look here, you see, so 337,131 seafarers renew the document between 1 to 5 years. That constitutes 90% of our seafarers. 90% of our seafarers. So if you take that number, if you multiply the 337,131 by the total cost, that we'll talk about the estimated cost of $1,225, you're talking about $412,985,475 just for seafarer to renew that document. All of our seafarers to renew the document from 1 year, from year 1 to year 5. $412,985,475. $412,985,475. That is what LISCA generate from renewal of document. Then we'll go back to new document, like those new seafarers that want to come in, which is, we just say it's 10% that will join the fleet every year. Let's say 10%, which is around 37,460 seafarers worldwide that will join our fleet. So when you multiply 37,460 seafarers by the total amount that they're going to pay, that includes all other fees and things, ranging from $161,690. You're talking about $63,307,400. My people, you're sharing live. Liberian need to hear this. Liberian need to hear this. This is what we are confronted with. This is the situation that we are confronted with. Well, all these numbers. Let me give you the total number. You can see the screen. I don't even need to be telling you. Look at the screen. So we're talking about renewal of all of our seafarers plus 10% that join. Let's take the range from year 1 to year 5. Just in one. Liberia makes around $1,019,821,275. This is the amount of money that we receive from seafarer documentation and renewal from year 1 to year 5. Between there, $1,019,821,275. So when you add this money to the previous money that I show you of $97 million, which is almost 100 million for ship registration. This is only for seafarer. This is only for seafarer documentation and registration. Both new seafarers and renewal of documentation. It's in $1 billion per 1 to 5 years. Then go back to the ship registration I showed you earlier. So the ship registration is 97 million. Let's say almost 100 million. So if you add that to this amount, Liberia Revenue Authority just from ship registration and a seafarer documentation, they are generating over 1.1 billion between year 1 to year 5. That is just for ship registration and seafarer documentation. Let us not even delve into the corporate registry, because the corporate registry pay more. The corporate registry pay more. So, if I said, let me stop sharing this screen and delve into this thing and begin to talk about it. You have seen the amount of money that LISCA is generating, people. There's the kind of money that LISCA makes. A country that is making $1 billion between 1 year to 5 years, that Liberia budget have not even hit. We're just trying for you to reach there. The country is making that amount of money in billions now. This is 2022 report. What happened in 2023? What happened in 2024? What happened in 2025? Those informations are there. When last have LISCA been audited? Fellow Liberians, when last have LISCA program ever been audited? Of all these numbers we're talking about, we got a global employee of 300 plus that work in those offices, and they make lucrative, they make good money. Those employees are making good money. How much Liberians are employed in the maritime program? How many Liberians are actually making money from our maritime program? They said that we don't have a professional maritime. No, the last time I checked, we do have. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. So someone said, your analysis on seafarer documentation is wrong. First, there is the issue of recognition or certificate issued by party of the SCW Convention. In such case, Liberia would just be issuing an endorsement, and those fees will not apply. If you want to be credible, you need to disregard the analysis seafarer documentation. Just use the ship registration figures. Well, thank you for the information, but the information I will receive here, Jeremy, it is from the analysis. It is from what the LISCA website published. And then we just went there basically to do the calculations. That's all we did. We changed no figure, we just added stuff there. Yes. So, and then again, Jeremy is one of our great contributors tonight. He said MRPS stands for Maritime Investigation and International Participation. That is why yeah, Jeremy, I mentioned that earlier. Thank you for providing that information. We appreciate. Yeah, thank you so much. And then James Momo said, we have all these excellent people, but since we are corrupt, we are not recognized, or we get rejected when we stand on the grounds against corruption. That is James Momo. Please send in your comment. We will post your comment, be it good or bad. We will post your comment. We don't sugarcoat anything here. We don't hide anything. So, but based off of what we are talking about, the number is astronomical. The number is huge. Even if we are paying only endorsement fees and other fees, that number is within 1 to 5 years, we're talking about $1 billion. LISCA is $1 billion industry. It's running up $1 billion. They play in $1 billion. How much of those money Liberians are actually benefiting from? How much of the money that Liberia is receiving? Well, have the government ever for once told you on the list on Liberia Maritime Authority website? Have they ever for once show you, oh, this is what LISCA remitted for this budget? Have you seen it? No. The answer is no. The figure is that it's talk about mutedly. Nobody wants to jump into that sector. There are other professional colleagues of mine, and I'm going to try to bring some of them on. I'll send the link. I'll send the link to some of my colleagues. Yeah, to some of my colleagues so that they can join. I don't know if they have received it. I'll send the link. Let me share it again with some of my colleagues who come in, and they can give their analysis. They can give their comment. They can talk about it and see what they all talk about Liberia Maritime Authority. So I'm sharing this link with some of my colleagues. If you can join. If you can't join, I understand. And I will tell you this for free. I've contacted. There are more people that have graduated from the World Maritime University that have gone to regionals and other maritime institutions that are Liberians. A couple of them work with Liberia Maritime Authority. I contacted one or two to join the show, but I understand why they could not come. Now that they don't have the knowledge, now that they can come and share it, but people have to protect their jobs. People have to protect their jobs. They come here to talk about things. The next thing they will begin to wish on them, they'll begin to fire them. You know how elect in Liberia. We know how elect. Freedom of speech has been thrown under the bus. Nobody can speak their mind. Nobody can talk the truth because you'll be wish hunted, you will be pursued, and they will end up terminating you for no reason. You will run after it, go to court here and there. It will end in dialogue. So my colleagues that could not turn up for this show, I understand. Just follow the live, share it, and if you have some information that you can provide, say it. But on the note, Liberia is making millions, billions of dollars on our program. We are making lot of money from our Liberia Maritime program. But look how many Liberians we have employed. Not more than 6 to 7 Liberians that are employed in the Liberia Maritime program. And the reason is very simple. If LISCA begin to employ Liberians into their program, Liberia will begin to understand the workings of LISCA. And Liberia will begin to see those figures, those numbers, and then it will blow alarm. They don't want that. But what are our lawmakers? Mr. President, what are you doing to make LISCA to incorporate Liberians? We have professional maritime Liberians all over the world. In Liberia, by the west there are many. They don't even get jobs. They are jobless. But we run a $1 billion industry. We run an industry that is run by a Jewish firm, an American Jewish firm called LISCA. Those guys are getting completely rich out of Liberia, while Liberians continue to wallow in poverty and hardship. We need to, our seafarer, we understand that according to the agreement on open registry, the vessels owner can choose who they want to hire on their ship. They don't have to hire Liberians. But there are things that Liberians can do to encourage vessels owner to hire them on their ship. For example, the Liberia Maritime Training Institute, they are putting up 50, 25 graduates, 2500. You need to put up more graduates. We stand at an advantage. Liberia is an English-speaking country. We speak English, and the global maritime language is English. So we can speak English, we can write English. So we are really well suited to work on board most of the vessels, not even Liberian vessels, but other vessels. So why is it that our seafarers that are trained, that are meeting training requirements, international standard training requirements, are not being incorporated into the Liberia Maritime program? Is the government negotiating with ship owners? Is the government telling people, are they advertising our maritime program? Our maritime program is sufficient to absorb more than 1 million Liberians on board their vessels. We can turn our country into something called cruise state. So because we have port state, countries that have port, we have flag state, countries that have vessel, we have coastal state, countries that have coast along the place, and then the new variable is called cruise state. There are countries that don't have ocean, they don't have ship, they don't have coast, but they got crew. The trained crew, the maritime program is robust. So the trained people Let me take the call. Hello? Yes. Yeah, I'll call you back. I'll call you back. I'm sorry about that. People trying to call the show. I send the link and they just need to follow the link and join the show. They need to call the link and join the show. So, looking at the maritime program, you got all these opportunities. 27 offices worldwide. Some of the offices got 4 or 5 people that work there. If you send Liberian, how we call it? The World Maritime University gives scholarship. Liberians go to school every year and graduate from that program. Regional Maritime University, they go to school and graduate from the program. They got master's degree, they got bachelor degree in maritime affairs, specializing in different sectors of maritime. The system cannot absorb them because the government have never held LISCA feet to the fire. The government have never made LISCA to include in the contract Liberian participation. In the first place, before we even move forward, why is LISCA still running our program after all these years? Why are we still trusting LISCA to run our program? Why? Why are foreigners running our program when we got 100? We got more than 50 to 100 maritime trained professionals in Liberia and around the world that can run our program. According to the sharing formula that I saw online, they say 30 to 40, 30 to 70%. Liberia receive 30 to 40%. That says 40% or 35%. And then LISCA receives 60% of our own money. Of our own money. LISCA is receiving more money from our program than Liberia is receiving. And we even know that some of those information, those data that is provided, is not correct. Some of the information are wrong. They're not going to give you the right information. When are we going to sanction audit? When are we going to audit LISCA? For them, we audit them for the last 10 to 15 years. There are forensic audit institutions in America or around the world that are specialized in that. I can assure you, Mr. President, I can promise you, if you sanction an audit into LISCA, LISCA will be owing Liberia billions of dollars in false revenue declaration. They will be owing Liberia billions of dollars. With that, we don't even need to go and borrow money from banks to buy yellow machine. We don't need to go borrow money from anywhere for our road project. No, we can generate that money. LISCA, put them to the fire. Hire the right people. Mr. President, you got people in LISCA that work with Liberian Maritime Authority. That is the sole supervisor for LISCA based on the statutory role. They are the supervisor for LISCA. Mr. President, you have kept people there. There is one of the deputy commissioners. Like I said, this program is going to speak it raw. It's raw, it's real. We have one of the deputy commissioner that work with Liberian Maritime Authority that have been working with the institution for more than 27 years. Limo Reeves, he's the deputy commissioner for finance. He worked with in an office is in Virginia for more than 27 years. From the reliable information that we receive, we stand to be corrected. They said when President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was deputy minister of finance, that was when she took that guy to that place. The guy had been there for a whole life, and he is the deputy commissioner for finance. Mr. President, you can't keep somebody of finance in one place for so long like that. Deputy commissioner for finance. They said when you see the man real estate and other stuff the man get in America, you give up. For how many years? Is he the only maritime professional? Is he the only man that went to maritime school that understands maritime? Mr. President, we expected that when you took over, you are going to revive that whole institution because that is the institution that the person is supposed to be depending on. That's where we make our money. But Mr. President, to my surprise, you retain everyone. You just changed the deputy for domestic registration and maritime safety. That office in Liberia. The Deputy Commissioner in Liberia, what is significant of that? The real money is not made in Liberia. The money is made in America. But you retain everyone that is working in America. You retain all of them. The Deputy Commissioner for Finance, you retain him. The Deputy Commissioner for international for operations, you retain her. Asumana. The Deputy Commissioner for International Vessel Registration, you retain them, Mr. President. Why? Why? Are they the only professional maritime people? For how many years these people have been there? Are they the only people that's supposed to buy a house? Are they the only people that's supposed to buy land? The people make thousands and thousands of dollars in America from LISCA alone because LISCA gave them huge bonuses and allowance. So they cannot report the actual figures. If LISCA is dealing with hundreds and hundreds of millions, up to $1 billion, you think how much they're going to bribe you for you not to report the figures? Mr. President, those people are wallowing in the corridors of millions. In the corridors of millions. And I got another comment here from Jeremy Thomas again. Jeremy, like I said, he's one of our good contributors. He said LISCA will never be audited because from the time the registry was established in 1948, it has always been the pepper bush for the president. Mr. President, is LISCA your pepper bush? You promised Liberian change. You came to America here, I was there with you in the hotel. I ironed your clothes, that money, preparing to meet your brothers. We spoke. You told us in confidence, Mr. President. You said it when you were that time you're not even president-elect yet. You promised us that you would do things differently. You promised us that you would change things. But Mr. President, to my utmost surprise, you reappointed those same people that have run the program for over 10 to 15 or 20 years. That set was there during Ellington. In fact, some of them started from President Charles Taylor era. They were there. President Ellen Johnson era, Judah Bryant, some of them just left small during the internship because it was a government of inclusion. And then Ellen Johnson came and put them right back there. 12 years again, they were there. President George Weah came, hoping that he would change things. He changed one person, a lady that he sent there. The rest of the other people were retained. He kept them there for another 6 years. Mr. President, your tenure is on, and you are keeping them there again. Why, Mr. President? Are they the only qualified people? You keep one people somewhere for long. What kind of new innovation they have? What kind of new ingenuity they will bring to the table? Nothing, Mr. President. They're just going to be there and dancing with the rhythms of LISCA. They're going to be there receiving those packages. Those people are receiving bribes in millions. The records are not there. You can't prove it, but how are you going to show it? But we just demonstrated here today how much money LISCA is supposed to return. The sharing formula is even wrong, Mr. President. That sharing formula is wrong. You need to have people around you that have knowledge of what it's supposed to be. Mr. President, you are appointing people politically in professional fields that have zero clue about that area. Look at IMO. You sending people there. I don't know which kind of knowledge you have in maritime. Couple of people. I know some do have in the likes of Conway, yes. But there are other people that have zero knowledge on it. It's not just about administrative knowledge. It's about maritime administrative knowledge. Mr. President, LISCA don't want to hire Liberian professionals. Why? They don't want the secret to come out. They don't want Liberians to know how much money. They will hire Liberians in error. They will hire Liberians in error in LISCA that is very, very insignificant to anything concerning money. They will hire Liberians in places that are very insignificant. I understand that one or two persons have like one person also have director position. If you are director of security, what significant has that to do with you seeing money? What significant that shows of you seeing money? And Mr. President, I will tell you, LISCA have not been treating your Liberians fair. Even some of us that took time, I will give you my audio and I will show you evidence. I will show you evidence. There was an opening in LISCA. I applied for the opening. LISCA received my resume. They saw my resume. They was impressed. Because Mr. President, I'm granted in maritime. I've gone to so many professional maritime schools. Fellow Liberians, this is a maritime expert speaking to you. So many maritime schools, ranging from the Nigerian Navy College, what I studied Navy stuff and maritime administration, to the World Maritime University, where I did my master's degree in maritime affairs, and I specialized in maritime law and policy. I have gone to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, where I did maritime boarding course, and I specialized in maritime law enforcement. I have gone to many schools. Many schools, I have a lot of certification. I'm a certified marine surveyor. I'm a certified maritime inspector. I'm a certified marine cargo inspector. I'm a certified maritime accident and casualty investigator. The resumes are there. So when LISCA saw my resume, they were interested in it. They reached out to me. And I will, like I said, I will display some of this. I told you I'm going to bring it raw. I'm not saying it because I just want to say it. Let me show you. So this is an email that I received when I did my application. A couple of calls. If you can see it, fellow Liberians, if you can see it, just let me know you can see it. When I applied to LISCA for a position, and the position was assistant manager in the accident investigation department. That was the position I applied for. That was vacant. So when I applied, you can see the email is from a guy called Cedric Souza. He's the vice president, senior vice president for maritime operation with LISCA. You can see that. That was his follow-up email with me concerning the application. So when he reached out to me, I was glad. He and I talked that he saw my resume and he's interested in me, in the kind of work that I do. He want me to come and work for the Liberian registry, LISCA. I said I was happy for that. That had been my dream, to work in our maritime sector. So when we talked, he told me, he said, okay, the HR is going to call you. So the HR called me. The HR and we talked. I hope I have this information here. I will try to see if I have this information here. So the HR and I will talk. But the number that the HR were trying to give me to pay me, the number was significantly low. I'm a maritime professional with years of experience. I have worked with other navies around the world. I have worked in the Liberian Coast Guard. I am qualified. I'm satisfied. So they told me they wanted to pay me, I think, $53,000 a year in America, $53,000 a year for a professional person. And they wanted me to move to the office in Virginia, because the head office is in Virginia, to work there. So when I saw the figure, I said, what? I was thinking that working with a shipping, with a maritime entity, I was talking about making or maybe 5-figure or something, and now see what they are giving me, even far less than what I'm making currently, now working even in the sector. So I reached out to the HR. I said, man, this is small. What can you guys do to help? Remember, you want me to move to Virginia. Virginia, the area in Virginia. Virginia is close to Washington, D.C. Everywhere around there, people that live in America, they know that it's very expensive. House rent, other things, very, very expensive to live on that side. So I told her, I said, is there any help y'all can give? My wife and I, we sat down, we did the analysis. I'd be like, man, Let me make 1 or 2 calls to some real estate agents over there to see if they can give me, if they can find a cheaper apartment, maybe some 25 to 30 miles away from where in the main city. We check around, and the least apartment there was around $2,000. So when I divide my salary that they want to pay me per the 12 months, it can't even pay my rent. Talk less of paying other things. Bills. It can't even pay. Talk about taking care of my family. I can't. But I really wanted to work to work with the Liberian registry. I really wanted to do it. But I could not, because it was not easy. I could not get the money was not sufficient to help me get through this. I could not pay my rent. If I had tried it, I couldn't pay my rent. If I had done anything funny, it was not going to be good for me. So I will display to you very shortly the communication that I wrote Liska, asking them to please. Let me share my screen with you. Just for a second. Like I said, I'm giving you information that is raw, information that is credible. Yes, that is what I'm giving you. Information that are very, very credible. That is what I'm giving you. So take a look at this communication that I wrote Liska. There's an email that I sent them. That I sent the HR. A response to salary offer. And I will read it so that people can understand what I did. For those of you that can't see it, it's not too clear. Can you see this? Can you see this communication that I received from Liska? This communication. Please, your comment, share the stream, share the live. Your comment, everything is important to us. Everything here is important to us. Let me, if you can see it, I'm just waiting so you can be able to see it. Then I can. Good. We can see it. So my response to them, I wrote the deputy, the vice president for operation. Sir, I am so fascinated and thankful concerning your interest in me joining Liska team. I can assure you that I won't disappoint you. For the record, I am prepared and willing to fully discharge the duties and responsibilities of an assistant manager for marine safety and accident investigation in the investigation department of Liska. So they will hire me as the assistant manager for marine safety and accident investigation. So I'm going to be conducting all of their investigation when it comes to accident. Remember, we got 5,650 ships on our fleet. Do you know how many accidents occur every day? I'm going to be responsible for conducting accidents. People that have worked in that place, they told me, bro, it's a very, very hectic job. It's a job that will require you to even work when you're sleeping on your bed. You get a lot of reports to submit to the IMO because every accident has a start date and an end date that you have to complete and submit to IMO website. So I also told him I love the job and really want to work in a professional to work in my profession and area of expertise. I strongly believe that I'm going to be a good addition to Liska's family. Notwithstanding, it is evident that the cost of living is overwhelmingly high in states like Virginia, where the office is located. After making some research on affordable housing in Virginia, a couple of real estate agents informed me that the least amount that I can pay for a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment will cost between $1,500 to $1,800 for just a bedroom apartment. Based on the amount that Liska is deciding to pay me annually, my bi-weekly pay won't be able to fully pay my rent. For 1 bedroom apartment, talk less of, not to mention about utility bills and other expenses. It can't pay my rent. If I share that money into it can't even pay it. Every 2 weeks, it will not pay it. Pennsylvania I live in Pennsylvania, so I will recommend it to them. Like other people work with the registry, other people that are not Liberian work with the registry, they work from home, work from other places that I know of. So I say Pennsylvania is an affordable state. The cost of living is somehow low as compared to Virginia. Housing and accommodation are also affordable. I'm currently paying less than $1,000. That was when I was paying less than $1,000. Now the rent have gone almost $2,000 now for 2-bedroom apartment in a very good and safe community. In view of the foregoing, I am really interested in the job and willing to accept the salary offer under the following condition. One, that the entity that LISCA allow me to fully carry out my duties and responsibility from home. I am conducting investigation online. I'm not going to the place. I'm doing documentation, getting the information. I don't need to be in an office there. Okay, if they allow me to work from home. Two, that I shall be available for calls and video conferences during the working hours when necessary. I will be online. My camera will be on. You will see me that at home I'm working. Three, that I will fully make myself available at the office or the headquarters for 1 to 2 months for the signing and completion of all paperwork, including orientation, training, and familiarization. I will go there, live in a hotel for 2 months to get this training and familiarization before starting my work. So of all this, the salary ranging from so I recommend from 53,000. I told them, I said, okay, if you can even give me 63,000 to 65,000, it will be better. In fact, that will only enable me to pay my rent. At least I will not be, it will break even. I will get at a break even. If you pay me 63,000, between 63 to 65,000. Not talking about keeping any money, it will pay my rent. It can handle. I'm not talking about keeping money, it will help me. So that was my response. That was my response. My salary response to LISCA, asking them to please consider me on that. To please consider me on that. Let me show you something. No, this is not it. This is not it. I don't think I uploaded that one. When I sent them that communication, the following day, HR wrote me and we rescinded the offer. They say they can't do it. I forget that. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't. Let me see. Do I have it here? No, I don't think I have it here. They said they can't pay me now. But this is a company that makes hundreds. In fact, I make up to $1 billion within from 1 year 1 to year 4. But you cannot hire a Liberian, a professional Liberian that you need to work to pay him at least 63 to 65,000, which is an average money for professional in America. It's even below average. They said they could not do it. They refused to offer me that. I'm not saying this because I got issue that because they didn't give me the job at Velda. No, but Liberians are not benefiting from their program, Mr. President. Liberians are not benefiting. We got handful, not more than 7 Liberians that work with LISCA. In an entity that hire more than 1,000 professionals. And the funny thing, you won't believe. So during our conversation, I told the guy, I said, look, I really want the job. Because he kept calling me. He wanted me to work because he knows I'm qualified to do the job. He kept calling me. I told him, I said, look, hire me as assistant manager. Who is the manager? He said, well, we don't have a manager, but we have a director. So you see, the job they offer me supposed to be called manager. But because they don't want to pay me the manager money, they change it to assistant manager. So I said, but if I'm assistant manager, they should be a manager. They said, no manager. So I said, but you got a director. I said, so they mean you jump one step because you don't want to, because in America, if you say this man the manager, the labor law requires that you got to pay him that. But you say the assistant, assistant, they can pay you anything. You're just an assistant. So I say, look, sir, how much do the director make? And where is the director? He said, to be quite honest with you, the reason why we need you here very fast, the director is currently sick. And in fact, he'll be retiring in 2 to 3 years, but he's really sick right now. He hasn't been coming to work. We got other work that is piled up. He didn't want to say that, but I know work have piled up. They have work that have piled up that they needed me to go and launch me straight into battle of fighting and getting the paperwork done. I knew that. But I was prepared. I'm up to the task. That's what I went to school for. I could do it. So I said, how much does the director make? He said, the director makes. I said, but who's the director? He called the name. I said, where is he from? It's one kind of, he's from, I think, an Israeli guy or something. I don't know if it's Israel, one other country, but he's a white man. The man looked at my face and told me the director make $125,000 a year. I said, but the director make $125,000 a year. I am his principal deputy. You won't pay me $53,000? That is less than half of what the director make. And like you said, he's sick. I am the one going to be doing the job. He's not going to be doing any job. He's a director. He'll tell you what to do and go sit down. I'm the one going to be doing the job. So why can't you pay me at least half of what he makes or 75% of what he makes? He said, well, you know that the director is old. I mean, he's about to retire and he's not well. And you know, when you join, hopefully in 1 or 2 years, you can be made a director. So I asked him, I said, okay, if I'm made a director, I can sacrifice. I can. Will you pay me what that director is making in 1 or 2 years? He said, well, HR will determine that. I look at the guy and laugh. They will never pay me that because I'm a black man, I'm a Liberian. Even though it is our program. They were never going to pay me $125,000 a year. Even though it's our program, I'm a Liberian, I'm qualified, I'm professional. LISCA will not pay me that. But they will pay a white man. They will pay other people that amount because they are white people that control the registry. Mr. President, when are we going to take our registry from the people? Panama run their registry. Panama did not outsource their registry. Marshall Island run their own registry. They did not outsource it. Other registry around the world is being run by their people. That's the reason why IMO, through the Liberian Maritime, the World Maritime University, is offering maritime education and training to Liberians and other maritime nation people, so that you can be able to acquire the required education to run your maritime program effectively. Mr. President, some all went to those schools. We went there. We graduated. We got master's degree. Many other Liberians got master's degree. They are qualified. They are there. Many of them are there. I'm still waiting for some of my panelists to join. I don't know what is going on. If they can't join that shit, I'm not going to. You have competent and qualified Liberians. Mr. President, they are sitting in Liberia and doing nothing. They don't have a job. Some of them are working with LISCA, with Liberian Maritime Authority. They are not making much, but we have a program that is paying a foreigner $125,000 United States dollars per year. Do you know how much economic and how much architectural development that money can bring into Liberia when a Liberian occupy that position and take the remittance of that money and invest it in Liberia? Do you know how our economy will improve? Mr. President, we should not be going out there borrowing money. We got things to give us money. Liberia Maritime Authority, the LISCA program is sufficient to give us sufficient money that we need, Mr. President. It is enough to employ our people. We just have to negotiate with our seafarers, with our vessels owner. Even though they are not obligated to take Liberians, but we can provide the requisite training and the requisite education that they need for people to work on board. And we already have the Liberian Maritime Training Institute. We can modify that. We can work on that. We can have Liberians working. Seafarers make a lot of money. Mr. President, please, this is a caveat call to you again, a clarion call to you again, Mr. President. I am begging your office. LISCA must be audited. LISCA must hire Liberian to work in the Liberian Maritime Program. We have qualified and competent people. Qualified and competent people. We are not begging them because they are the one in charge. We are saying this because Liberia as a nation, their people must benefit adequately from its resources. Our maritime resources is enormous. Look at the figures that I just displayed. Go back to the live or start the live if you don't, if you can't do, go back to the video and watch. You'll see the figures that are displayed. For seafarer registration and renewal alone is clocking to $1 billion just for seafarers. Vessel renewal and thing alone going to the hundreds of millions of dollars. Talk less about corporate registry. I didn't even touch that one because the figure was so high. I just said, let me leave it. Corporate registry. The corporate registration, international corporation are registered under Liberia. Look at the amount of money they pay, Mr. President. How much does LISCA remit to Liberia? You got those people that have been working with LISCA. Those Liberians that are working with LISCA, they are supervisors of LISCA. The deputy for finance, Mr. Reeves. The deputy for operations, I think Asumana. The deputy for international vessel registration. Mr. President, they are all there. But they have spent so long in the place that they are contented. They have no new ideas. The people have bought them over. They can't make any more significant change, Mr. President. Why keep such a people? You kept a man in a finance department that has spent more than 27 to 30 years, Mr. Reeves. I even learned of recent, they were trying to make it commissioner. He said, you don't want to be commissioner proper. Because when you become commissioner proper, it means you are at the end of your rope. He don't want to be commissioner proper. He prefer being a deputy commissioner. Imagine a man refusing commissioner job just because he want to keep his deputy commissioner because that's where the real money is. Just imagine that, how laughable it is. A man that does not want promotion. Who don't want promotion? But because he feels comfortable in that place, because that's where he makes the money. That's where the actual money is. In the finance department of LISCA. He knows the figures. He knows the number. But he's complacent. He is content. Mr. President, you need to change those people and bring in new minds. Look at our domestic maritime program. Why is it not working? Why is it not booming? Our domestic maritime program, we don't have how many ships we have flying our flag in our local waters. How many ships we have on our Do River, how many boats, how many recreational crafts we have on our Do River, our St. Paul River, our St. John River to perform domestic maritime program, to make our domestic program boom. Other countries like Panama, like Marshall Islands, like Bermudas and Barbados, their maritime program, a domestic maritime program is booming. Liberia, our domestic maritime program is zero. Zero. There is nothing to write home about. Because we're so focused on allowing the white man to run our program. We're so focused on allowing LISCA to run our program, even though we have the professional and the technical to run the program. There's a better way you can do that, Mr. President. You can start incorporating Liberians to work with LISCA. Make it mandatory. They should hold this position. They should work here. They should work here. Then we begin to learn the workings. Now we don't have the knowledge, but you will learn the workings, how things flow, because every entity has their own way of things working, how the sector is there, how the money flow in. You will begin to know that. Then within a couple of years, we'll begin to do our drawback plan and take the registry from them. They're supposed to understand. Marshall Island program was run by ITC, the same company that run our program before. And that is the reason why Liberia filed a lawsuit for conflict of interest. For those of you that know the story from back there. And Liberia won the case. And by the way, Liberia made a lot of money. They went to settlement under the leadership of Benin Ayuri. That's another big information there. If you see the amount of money that RTC pay under President Charles Taylor era, and then Liberia had a trust fund program where every ship flying flag were giving money to contribute to domestic maritime program in Liberia to improve Liberia domestic maritime program. Do you know how much millions entered that account? President Charles Taylor authorized Bernard Ure. He went and took the money out of the account, and they used the money to buy ammunition. Because of that, IMO, that was a member of the board, and other people that were member of the board, got angry, and then they wrote Liberia asking for accountability. There was a communication that I saw when I was in school in the World Maritime University. One of my professors displayed that information concerning Liberia's response to IMO concerning the trust fund. They said Liberia is a sovereign nation. We choose to do what we want to do with our money. But unfortunately, that money was to be guarded because it's a trust fund. It's supposed to follow certain procedure. You're not supposed to take it to go buy ammunition. No, that was not it for. You're supposed to improve your domestic vessel registration, domestic vessel program. You have to improve seafarer training. That was what the money was for. But because they took the money from there and used the money, coupled with the settlement that they received from the RTC, that was a huge money. That was contributed to some people today being a multi-millionaire in Liberia, thinking that they earned the money. No, they got the money from maritime program. They got the money through that taxpayer money. That's where they got some of their money from. They acting that they rich today, they get farm, they get the one that's a lie. They took it from the Liberia Maritime Program, from RTC settlement. That's where they got the money from. So I just bring this to give you a little background of it. So our maritime program have gone through a lot. Mr. President, we got 5,600 ships flying our flag today. You can get more Liberians working on our ships. The school is there. They can get the training. You just need to negotiate. Why is LISCA still running our program? Why are Liberians? You see, foreigners don't want to pay vice president operation. LISCA get how many vice president? They took all their children, all their friends, and made them vice president. And they're making just listen, Mr. President, listen to this. If a director for in the marine investigation department, a director is making $125,000 a year, how much you think a vice president is making? How much do you think a vice president is making? Those guys are so enriching themselves with our money, Mr. President. That is our program. That is our God-given program. Why can't you bring in Liberians to work with the program? Why can't you demand LISCA to hire Liberian? Why can't you do that, Mr. President? You have the authority. They say because they say the truth that Jeremy said. This is what Jeremy said. LISCA will never be audited because from the time the registry was established in 1948, it has always been a pepper bush for the president. Mr. President, is LISCA your pepper bush too? After all you told us you will do, are you using LISCA as a pepper bush too? Other presidents use it. The records are there. Yeah, we can see it. Are you using it too? Are you using it too? Mr. President, I know you are a good man. You are an old man. You are an old good man. Whether we like it or not, you are old man. You are an old man. God has his own way of prolonging life and has his own way of taking it. One day we will all die and we will all go. Mr. President, which legacy you want to leave before God calls you? Why is going to be one of your biggest achievements? Building roads, school, yeah, it's good, but those are things that are currently ongoing. We need you to make a significant change that will mark in history, that will be monumental, that everybody can see what is going on. Everybody can see what is going on. Mr. President, look at your maritime program. Please incorporate Liberia. I know for the renewal, now you are signing, you want to sign a new contract with the port. Look at the port new agreement. See how book it was. Because the legislators, you think that because you are a senator or you are a representative, that means you got monopoly over every subject matter. That's a lie. Even the great United States, when there is a subject issue for debate, they hire the requisite professional entities to give them expert opinion in how it's supposed to be. But Liberia know, our lawmakers know everything. Everything. They will be the law and the gospel. They wrote a complete trash in the name of port reform. The idea is good, but the principle surrounding it is crazy, is wrong. They don't even know what they are doing. You want to be the referee and you want to be the coach and you want to be the player. You're one. Now you say you are a legislator, you are a lawmaker. Why can't you hire professionals, maritime professionals that will be able to delve into the subject and give you guidance on it? Why can't you do that? But everything you know it. When they say roll, so you'll go there. When they say construction agreement for oil, where you'll go there. You don't even want to call the expert. You don't even want to hire the expert. And that's what the money should be for. Put a square peg in a square hole, not a square peg in a round hole. You're taking non-professional people to write a professional paper. It's not going to work. You will keep making the same mistake that other leaders have made. Mr. President, I am telling you today, as I'm wrapping up the show, you need to pay attention to several sectors. You complain about unemployment. You complain about so many things. You can run a domestic maritime program that can even employ more than 10,000 youth that can work with domestic maritime programs, Mr. President. You can do that. You can make LISCA to incorporate more than 100 Liberians to work with that program and pay them hundreds of pay them in six-figure salaries, and LISCA will not budge because they know they make the money. If you have a director, they try to hire me to pay me $53,000 to work in a department that is far demanding, but they have a director that is sick, that is not working, that is not even able to come to work. He has not been coming for work for a time, and he's about to retire. They pay him $125,000. Less than half of what they want to pay me. And the last time I checked, I got more credentials than the man I call himself a director. The only thing I have, maybe I had endorsement for captain, and I wish I can get at any time. Mr. President, you need to wake up from your slumber. You need to wake up and be in charge of the country. Take charge of that nation. We gave you that nation to take charge of it. We want you to be able to look at your entities. Go there. Others your entity. Look at what they are doing in the sector. They say helping the Liberian people. When a new commissioner is appointed, LISCA has a package for him. A big package that will seal every discussion. Nobody want to talk about audit. But when the officer, when you hear them talking, how when they get there, they will do this. They will transform the raptors and the bucktails. But when they get there, Mr. President, their performance is under. Which commissioner have prioritized our domestic program? Shipbuilding. You can build. Ghana is doing domestic shipbuilding, boats and things for recreational stuff and for local maritime transport. It will ease traffic on the road. You can get our river run from one county to another county. You can run a maritime rivering program. It will ease traffic. It will ease the sum of auto BB trucks, the demand for auto BB trucks on our road as far as road early. People will prefer the water because it's cheaper and it is reliable. Mr. President, our maritime supervisors, LISCA supervisors, you have to, Liberia Maritime Authority supervisors, your deputy commissioners lying in America here, they are complacent. They are complacent. They have worked with the sector for too long. I don't even think some of them can even go to work again. They stay home and just follow the old order. Are Liberians receiving what they're supposed to receive? Are Liberians being employed into the maritime sector as they should be? Why are we still allowing LISCA to run our maritime program if we have all the experts, all the professionals in Liberia and around Liberia to help us run this program? Mr. President, there's a call to you. Do something about the Liberia Maritime Program. Make LISCA to hire Liberians. They got over 300, over 5,000, let's say 5 to 6,000 employees worldwide that make a lot of money. They got over 27 offices across the country. They have the ability. LISCA makes bucks in terms of seafarer documentation. I learned that in the old agreement, I don't know about the new one, that seafarer documentation was money solely used for the LISCA operation. Mr. President, you get about $1 billion to run LISCA operation? $1 billion to run LISCA operation? Why? The sharing formula is wrong. That's our program, and we should be able to run our program effectively. We should be able, Mr. President, to run out because we have the professional, we have the expert, we have the technical know-how. Even if you feel that the knowledge is not yet sufficient, you can have a program wherein Liberians will be made to work with LISCA in the place and understand the operation. Let them know that in 2, 3 years or 5 years, we are going to take back our program. Let them know that. Marshall Islands did it. Panama did it. Bermuda did it. Other countries did it. They took back their registry. And today, they have their citizens working in the registry. Maritime program in Panama is one of the highest employer in Panama. But our maritime program, you cannot name more than 5 to 6 Liberian or 7 Liberian. Let me just put your number out of 10 Liberian that work with the program. No, you can't find them, Mr. President. Because they don't want to give Liberian the job. They don't want to put Liberian in strategic position, even though Liberians are far qualified than most of those guys that call themselves staff in that place. But they don't want to give Liberian a job because they feel that Liberian will understand the workings of LISCA and they will take by our program. Which, of course, is supposed to be smart to know that definitely we are going to take by our program soon and soon. So in closing, fellow Liberian, tonight we have unpacked one of the most powerful pillars of our national economy, the Liberian Maritime Program. We explore its history, its challenges, its revenue, and a deep question surrounding who truly benefit. What we have learned is simple. Liberia is a global maritime giant, but the Liberian people have not always felt like giants in the distribution of the benefit. Our conversation tonight is not about attacking institution. No, it was not about attacking institution. It was about demanding clarity, demanding accountability, demanding transparency, and national for our program. As always, we thank you for the insight, your comment, your contribution. We thank you, viewers. We thank you, people that are sharing the live and people that stand with the Liberian Voices Unfiltered. People that want to see us succeed in sending more real and reliable information across the world to our people. Where truth is spoken on this program without fear or favor. Let this conversation continue in our homes, in our communities, and in our corridors of leadership. Let us talk about the Liberian Maritime Program. Liberia belongs to all of us. And so most of the, in fact, all of the benefit for every resources must be distributed among Liberians evenly. So until next time, stay informed, stay bold, stay unfiltered, and remain the champion for change in our democratic process. Remain an advocate for Liberian in our democratic process. We thank you for joining us on the show. We have spent 2 hours, 24 minutes, almost 2 hours, 30 minutes. We plan to take you like an hour or so, but we were unable to, we went more because the information is enormous. Imagine I did not even touch corporate registry. I only touched vessel registration and seafarer document. We enter billion straight. We enter $1 billion straight. This is a big topic, a very nice discussion. And I believe we can have the discussion when we have other professionals coming on board. They stay away. And I don't blame them. They don't want their job to be tampered with. They don't want to lose their livelihood. Some of them could not participate on the show. Some of them could not give you insight of why it's supposed to be. But tonight, I was unable to do all of those. So a comment before I leave you from F.E. Pensy. They say, if your country does not know the value of their resources, why should they? So if Liberians don't know the value of what we have, our maritime program, why should LISCA know the value? That's in short what her comment is about. Saying we don't know the value, why LISCA should know that. So as usual, we always start the show with a wise saying, a proverb, and we end the show with the same proverb. I didn't start it with a proverb, I'm going to end it with this proverb. So it's called a food for thought. So this is our food for thought for today. Our food for thought. A nation that fails to retain its professionals and technocrats tend to lose them to other nations. I'll take that again. A nation that fails to retain its professionals and technocrats tend to lose them to other nations. And this is a quotation for me. I sat down, I think about it, and I came out with this. So this is our food for thought for today. We want to tell you thank you for watching. We want to tell you thank you for following. For those that were not able to join us, those that are watching, you can share the live so that other people can be able to watch it on Facebook later, on YouTube, on Instagram. So follow our page, Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Follow on Facebook, follow on YouTube, Liberian Voices Unfiltered. On Instagram, Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Subscribe, like, and comment so that we can have more followers and we can provide more information. So I will play our intro video, our outro video, and I'll play the theme song, and then we can call it a day.
From the towering peaks of the Woolajezi Mountain in Lofa County to the golden plains of Bomi River Basin, through the verdant greens of the Sapo National Park, a place where monkeys whisper secrets and pygmy hippos tread unseen, from the valleys to the roaring coasts of Monrovia, Buchanan, Harper, and Robertsport. These are the voices that travel unfiltered, uncaged, and unstoppable. Welcome to the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, the platform where we speak the languages of the land, celebrate the cultures of our people, beat the drums of our tribes, and dance to the rhythms of our identity. This platform is more than just a broadcast. It's a movement, a megaphone for the people. No scripts, no sugarcoating, no stage management, just the truth, pure, bold, and proudly Liberian. Tune in, turn up the volume, and join your host, George Senator Sibo, the Pan-Africanist, shaking the mic, breaking the silence, and speaking for the nation and its people. The Liberian Voices Unfiltered. All hail, Liberia hail. It is raw, it is real, it is authentic. From the bushes to the beaches, this is our voices, our truth, and our story. It must be heard.
Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Buchanan to Bong, from Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Keep tuned, stay into our podcast. Watch up for our next topic. Our next topic on our discussion on this show, some part of next week is going to be focused on, like I said, we don't only talk politics. We bring you information. We bring you entertainment. Our next discussion is going to be on the topic, our religious institution. Religious institution. What are they doing to help? Let me find the original, the exact wordings that we use to coin this topic, but it's on the religious community. What is the role of our the role of religious institutions in nation building? That's our next discussion on the show. The role of religious institution in nation building. And we're asking the question, are our religious leaders doing enough to help Liberia in nation development? So we're going to be looking at the religious community. That is the church, the mosques, and the pastors, the apostles, the I don't know how it's referred to in the Islamic part. All about those people, are they actually contribute? Are they doing what they're supposed to do to help the nation to succeed? Are they actually providing the kind of religious guidance to our people? Are they advancing leaders religiously? Are they providing the original leadership or religious counsel to our leadership? Or are they fighting to join politics? Are they becoming politicians? Look at our religious institutions. Cottington University is owned by a church. AME University is owned by a church. UMU is owned by a church. SDA University is owned by a church. Then we'll go back to the private schools, elementary schools, high schools. St. Zito is owned by the church. Carrie Temple is owned by the church. All of those, a lot of them. B.W. Harris, Morovia College, they are owned by the church. The fundings that were used to establish those institutions were fundings from church goers, donors, donations. People pay their tithe, they pay their offering, and they get donations. Those were monies that were used to build those schools, because the school is an extension of the church by default through fellowship and recruitment. So the churches were using the school. That is the original intent, for the church to use the school as an extension so they can bring in more people to the church, encourage people. So people that attended those churches pay tithe and pay their offering, which the Bible demands them to do, and they gave contribution and donation. And those monies were used to build schools, hospitals, and other places. But today, those schools have gotten so expensive. They are charging so much money for those schools, to the extent that even the people that pay their time often cannot even afford to send their children there. So we'll be discussing those things. We'll be looking at those things. We will bring in panelists too. People that want to join the show, we are encouraged to come and join and give your input. We'll be asking some pastors, some religious people to join us and give an insight on it. So I say thank you. God bless you. Share this live on your page. Go back to the video, share it, and encourage people to watch it. A lot of information was shared tonight. Keep on pushing it until it reaches the policies maker, so they can see what we are confronted with, so they can see why Liberians are not being employed, so they can see why the Maritime program is making all this money and Liberia is not benefiting. So thank you. Until we meet again, I say remain safe. God bless you. Ciao.
Yeah, you tuned into the heartbeat.